Good evening. It is Friday, July 18th. Friday at last. Welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away this week. I'm Jefferson Robbins, just trying to live up to his legacy. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. New development in Malaga means a greater need for fire protection. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett outlines what that looks like and how a partnership with Microsoft is making it possible. Pangbourne Airport becomes a no-go zone for planes throughout the month of September. Aircraft will have to find a different runway for arrivals and departure until the following month. We'll tell you why that is coming up. Cooler and cloudier today despite the red flag warning that's been hovering over the central Washington region throughout the day. What does the weekend portend? Dan Kuntz fills in again for Grant during our weather segment later on in this broadcast. First, our top story tonight. An account manager for an East Wenatchee social services agency is accused of embezzling nearly $20,000 from its vulnerable adult clients. East Wenatchee police on Thursday arrested 37-year-old Laura K. Tafoya on suspicion of 39 criminal counts, including forgery, identity theft, and theft from a vulnerable adult. Tafoya was identified as an account manager for Ambitions Washington, a nonprofit which provides assistance for vulnerable adults from 11 locations around the state, including East Wenatchee. She allegedly admitted to using clients' money for her own purposes after executives at Ambitions noticed suspicious transactions in May. Police allege thefts from 14 separate victims, amounting to about $19,600. Tafoya was booked into the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. Formal charges in the case have not yet been filed in Douglas County Court. A Quincy man was convicted Wednesday on multiple charges of sexually assaulting children. 48-year-old Derek Marshall Hildebrand faces sentencing in September. Hildebrand was arrested in 2022 by Grant County Sheriff's deputies after two victims disclosed incidents of sexual abuse that took place between 2014 and 2017 when both were under 10 years old. Hildebrand's trial in Ephrata lasted 5 days before the jury returned its verdict. He was convicted of 4 counts of first-degree rape of a child and 1 count of first-degree child molestation. Sheriff Joe Crete said, quote, "The community is safer now that Derek Hildebrand will be headed to prison." The Wenatchee Valley is growing, with much of that new growth taking place in the area around Malaga. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department is preparing for that with an expansion of its own, developing a new Malaga fire station with support from Microsoft, whose data center is under construction nearby. Fire Chief Brian Brett spoke about the project this week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Dan Kuntz.
In the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have the fire department built out to the level that the community deserves and the firefighters deserve. We'll be fully staffed, fully built out. It's super exciting. In the interim, we had planned to staff Malaga a couple of years from now. Historically, Alcoa provided half the funding for Malaga. As when they went away, the funding went away. We relocated a station to Squilchuck, which gave us some shorter response times, yet more distant to Malaga. But just budgetarily, we hadn't planned to staff Malaga this year. It was going to be 2027. Then the insurance industry has now, the insurance industry premiums on our homeowners cause us to staff fire stations where the call volume metric alone may not warrant the staffing, but the cost to people within our jurisdiction for their premiums is so exorbitant, we need to staff that station to bring those costs down. For example, staffing Malaga is going to should save people out there thousands of dollars in insurance premiums. So Microsoft is coming out there and building, and they're such a generous company. We approached them on our needs and desire to staff Malaga. They were all in. They're like, we're building out here. We want our construction workers to be safe. We want to be great community partners and do a good stroke of business for the Malaga community. So we'll fund 1/3 of your staffing for 3 years to help you budgetarily, because as I mentioned, this wasn't a budgeted expense. And that really spurred us to be able to do this as soon as we are, and it'll be staffed on September 1.
The city of Wenatchee may soon build a 5,000 square foot administration building at its wastewater treatment plant next to the Columbia River. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, reports the city describes the current administration building as antiquated and undersized for its current needs. The current building measures 3,000 square feet and parts of it date to the 1950s. Wenatchee water managers hope to begin demolition and construction in 2026. The project won't affect the wastewater treatment plant itself. A hearing on the proposal will be held at City Hall August 26th. When we come back, an Okanogan County man sold thousands of doses of fentanyl to indigenous communities in Washington and throughout the Northwest. Now he's facing his punishment in federal court. We'll have all the details. Stay with us.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanogan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The ringleader of a drug trafficking organization that operated in Okanogan County and throughout eastern Washington has been sentenced to 19 years in prison. Luis Esquivel Bolaños was living in Oroville while leading a group of at least 6 conspirators in the sale of methamphetamine and fentanyl to buyers on the Colville Indian Reservation, as well as native reservations in Idaho and Montana. Narcotics investigators seized roughly 160,000 fentanyl tablets and about 80 pounds of meth in a series of warrant searches. A federal jury in Spokane convicted Bolaños in April of conspiracy, drug possession, and drug distribution. 5 partners in the scheme have pleaded guilty to related charges. 4 of them have yet to be sentenced. Former acting United States Attorney Richard R. Barker conducted the prosecution. A new fee schedule for land use permit applications in Chelan County will take effect August 1st. The resolution was passed by commissioners on July 1st and will increase fees annually until 2028. Then, starting in August 2029, fees will begin increasing at a rate of 4% each year. Current fees have been failing to keep up with inflation and increased labor costs, according to Chelan County Community Development Director Dina Walter. Commissioners say this change may allow community development to stop supplementing its budget from the general fund and become more self-sustaining within the next 3 years. Pangbourne Memorial Airport will temporarily close its runway for a rehabilitation project from September 2nd to midnight October 3rd. The project will include replacing runway asphalt, installing a new storm drainage system, improving airfield signage, and more. The rehabilitation work will cost approximately $20 million, with 95% of those funds coming from the Federal Aviation Administration's Airport Improvement Program. The remainder comes from the Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority, which operates the airport. Though helicopter operations will continue, the runway will be closed to all fixed-wing aircraft during the project period. Local general aviation pilots are encouraged to take off and land from nearby airports. Coming up this weekend, a Rock Island woman turns 105 years young. We sat down with Lorene Vehrs for a look back on her long life and rich history. Dan Kuntz says it's going to cool down soon, but then Dan Kuntz says a lot of things. You can decide for yourself if his weather forecast holds water. Coming up next, followed by Eric Granstrom on sports. Stay with us.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition.
Holy pepperoni, Abby Man. It's the hometown hero bursting onto the scene this July at a special price, starring classic pepperoni, green peppers, and Italian sausage. One bite and wham. Don't miss the summer's biggest blockbuster. The hometown hero has arrived at Abby's.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
The pitch by Busich.
Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Edmonton Riverhawks Tuesday, July 22nd. Coverage brought to you by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCWLIFE channel.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Rock Island resident Lorene Vehrs will celebrate her 105th birthday this Sunday. Vehrs has outlived all of her siblings, 2 husbands, and all but 2 of her children. She now spends her days enjoying the company of her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. NCWLIFE's Casey Safford spoke with Vehrs about her upcoming birthday, what may have contributed to her longevity, and the lessons she's learned along the way.
I was born and raised in Montana. Grew up, left Montana when my mother passed away when I was 13. And then my dad and my 6 brothers moved to Washington.
So 6 brothers and a sister, that's a large family.
I had 8 brothers.
Wow, where did you fall in that line of siblings? Were you the youngest? Were you somewhere in the middle?
Right in the middle of the boys.
Ah.
I have 4 brothers older than I am, 4 brothers younger than I am.
Wow. So what was your relationship like with your siblings? Did you guys pull pranks on one another? Were you all very close?
Yeah, we were. Your family of 8 people, you don't have anything else to do.
That's true.
You respect. My mother said there's the words we never use in this word. You never tell anybody to shut up.
That's a great rule.
Yeah, I can remember that. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Tell us a bit about what you thought when you came over to Washington. What was the valley and the area around here like, and how has it changed?
It hasn't changed a whole lot, I don't think, except for the fact that more people have moved in, and changes, of course, were changed. But then I went to work for the telephone company right after I got here, and I spent 28 years with the telephone company.
That's a long time. You must have enjoyed that work if you stayed there for so long.
Well, I was their night operator for years.
Oh, that was all night shift work?
Yes.
Wow. All right, so what factors do you think have contributed to your longevity of your life the most? Is it good exercise, healthy eating, or have you just secretly discovered the fountain of youth?
I think healthy living, really.
What plans do you have for your upcoming 105th birthday this weekend? Are you doing anything special to celebrate?
Yeah, when I'm with my family, that's where I am. And we are here all together, both of us.
So just being with family, that's the best way to celebrate?
Well, they're all here, so it's close, you know. Like this, what was it, last night we had 10 people here for dinner.
All right, well, my last question for you is, what advice would you give to younger generations today?
So, advice? Let your conscience be your guide.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. If you want to do it, do it. Don't just there tomorrow. Put it off till tomorrow. And I'm pretty good at putting it off till tomorrow.
Happy Friday, everybody. Once again, Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson, doing your weather forecast. This shot, of course, of the Wenatchee Valley we took earlier today, before the winds came, before the clouds came. The wind and the clouds are now here. Clouds will be leaving later on. Wind will not. All those details are coming up. Beautiful shot from our Wenatchee Heights camera. All right, up at Pangbourne today, just a couple of degrees cooler. First of all, red flag warning. Yeah, here we go again. We're used to them by now. Is it me, or we haven't had a continuous period of time without any wind? It just seems to not go away. Anyway, you know the recipe by now. Low relative humidity, hot temperatures, and strong winds. That means a red flag warning for almost all of eastern Washington. So if any fires get going and get a toehold, things could get a little dicey over the next 48 hours or so, but it'll be a lot cooler tomorrow, and the relative humidity will be a lot higher. That will help, but we still got to get through this. 93 at Pangbourne today, just a couple of degrees above normal. Notice how our normal high temperature is now 89 degrees, and we're still losing about 2 minutes of daylight every day as we get deeper and deeper into July. But things are going to change. We got a big time change coming our way. First of all, temperatures tomorrow a little cooler, not a lot cooler, but a little cooler. Moses Lake will lead the temperature parade. It'll be 89 there. Most of the basin will be right around the upper 80s to close to 90 degrees. You're going to have some wind too. Columbia Basin, 87 in Wenatchee. Omak at 88 degrees. Everybody else will be a few degrees cooler than we saw today, and that's about where we're going to be on Sunday as well. So what's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. That ridge of high pressure out there really hasn't moved for a long time. The center of it moves around a little bit, but it's been pretty stationary, and these are the gradients that are tightening right now. We have that close low, high temperatures, the high pressure, boom, together. Here comes the clouds, and here comes the wind. The clouds are coming in from the west. Next week, they'll be coming in from the north. So a little breezy, who's kidding who? A little windy this afternoon and tonight. That's why we have the red flag warning. It should expire at 1 o'clock. Saturday, still windy. See those gradients, still pretty darn tight. Still windy. Also on Saturday, a few chance of some very light rain up north. Nothing down here. That's going to change. Sunday is going to be perfect. Very little wind at all. Comfortable temperatures. No problems at all on Sunday. If you have outdoor plans this weekend and you want to avoid the wind, Sunday is your day. Monday, things start changing just a little bit. We're going to start seeing a few clouds creep down from the north. You folks up in Omak, Orville, Okanogan, you have a chance of a little bit of rain on Monday night. I wish we would have a deluge down here. That's not in the forecast, but there is a slight chance, just the slightest chance of some light sprinkles for the Wenatchee Valley on Monday night and again on Tuesday night. Notice we'll have a mixture of clouds and sun on both Monday and Tuesday as a little system creeps down, a little shortwave system creeps down from Canada. And then all of that goes away overnight Tuesday, and as we transition into the middle of the week next week, Wednesday, right back to sunny and hot weather. Very little wind is in store. Might be done with the wind for a little while. That would be a nice break. So Wednesday, mid-90s, Thursday, mid-90s. A little too far out ahead on the computer models to figure out what next weekend is looking like. But right now, the long-term forecast is calling for sunny and hot for all of north central Washington. Pretty nice weather, but again, we still have that red flag warning. It is due to expire at 1 o'clock overnight tonight into Saturday, but it's still going to be windy on Saturday. All right, from the National Weather Service, that way if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Cloudy and windy for the rest of the day today. We'll top off at 93. The clouds will depart overnight, but the wind will not. It'll be pretty breezy on Saturday, and a lot cooler with that cooler air coming in with a high of 87. No wind at all on Sunday. Sunday looks perfect. Lots of sunshine, nice light breeze, not too hot. Get out and enjoy. And if you go out and about this weekend, by the way, we have an app. Take us along. We're portable. We'll be hanging around in the mid-60s, and then we cook right back up to the mid-90s by the middle of next week. At your forecast, Eric Granstrom's got sports coming up. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
What do you think of that?
Pretty big, I like it.
Watch for new episodes of the Northwest Outdoorsman on the NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel. The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCWLIFE channel. Watch as they take on the Edmonton Riverhawks Tuesday, July 22nd. Coverage is brought to you in part by Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, Tacos Chava, Together for Youth, and Valley Tractor. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball, NCWLIFE channel, your local TV station. Happy Finally Friday. Now that the All-Star break is over, it's back to work for the Seattle Mariners. Seattle's back at home at T-Mobile Park tonight to begin the first of 17 games in 17 days with a 3-game homestand against division-leading Houston. As we mentioned yesterday, the Astros are starting Brandon Walter, who is 1-2 with a 4.81 ERA. Seattle finally picked their starter. It's Luis Castillo, who's 6-5 with a 3.41 earned run average. First pitch on Root Sports Northwest tonight at 7:10. Well, the Astros come into tonight's first of 3 games in Seattle with a 56-40 record. The Mariners trail by 5 games at 51-45. Texas is 3.5 games behind Seattle in third place at 48-49. Angels, who begin the second half in Philadelphia today, are 1.5 back of the Rangers at 47-49. Athletics trail the division by 16 games. They're in Cleveland today. Texas is hosting Detroit. Well, the Seahawks signed their last 2 rookie draft picks in the last 24 hours. Second-round pick Nick Emmanwori signed an unprecedented deal for the 35th overall selection. Seattle signed him to a guaranteed contract, 4 years, $11.6 million. It's the first time in NFL history a player drafted in the second round received a fully guaranteed contract. Emmanwori says he felt disrespected and nervous about being passed up in the first round of the April NFL draft, but he's glad he landed in Seattle.
It meant a lot, man. It just showed how much they wanted me, honestly. So after that first round had ended, I was kind of confused about like where I was going to land, because sometimes you got an idea, but I was kind of like, I wasn't sure where I was going to be at. So I was looking at the teams. I think it was like Cleveland, Tennessee. A lot of teams were lined up, but I knew Seattle was like pick 18, so I was like, Seattle's out the picture maybe. And then so when I got the phone call, I was kind of confused on like who was really calling, because I was seeing a different team on the clock. And then when they called, I was kind of like trying to put 2 and 2 together. But until he told me like on the phone, like we're trading up to get you, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. So I was pretty excited, super stoked out. I know the whole staff were super excited to come get me, really pumped up, so it just meant a lot.
Emmanwori says he heard from a former Seahawks legend from the Legion of Boom during the NFL draft.
Cam Chancellor, actually before I even got drafted that first night, he had texted me, he had sent me a message like out the blue. It was like, hey man, wherever you end up, we'll go grind hard, just a little heartfelt message. And that was one of my favorite safeties again growing up. So I was showing my brothers and like, oh, Cam Chancellor just woo. So when I got drafted by Seattle, I thought him texting me was like maybe he had the inside, like, okay, I'm going to Seattle. But after I got drafted, he told me, he was like, look at God, man, what a coincidence. So just Cam Chancellor, he a great dude, man. I'm going to be reaching out to him for advice and how he made his way through here, try to make my own way.
Seahawks fans will quickly notice that he's wearing Russell Wilson's old jersey number. Emmanwori says he wanted to make his mark with the number 3 on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, man, it was Russell Wilson wore it last, so I kind of was looking for single digits. 7 wasn't available, so I was looking at the next, number that, could mean something to me. But Russell Wilson's one of my favorite quarterbacks, growing up with that Legion of Boom defense. You got an offense too, so respect to Russell. He did a lot for this organization, did everything he could. So I'm doing what I can in this number. I make it special on defense in my own way. So.
Seattle also in the last 24 hours signed tight end Elijah Arroyo to a 4-year deal. Rookies have already reported to training camp. Full camp begins on Monday.
While the Apple Sox had the night off, the rest of the West Coast League saw play on Thursday. In league play, Ridgefield beat Cowlitz 9-4. In non-league action, saw Nanaimo edge the local select team 10-6. Port Angeles beat the Redmond Dudes 7-3. Victoria knocked off the Victoria Mavericks 12-2. Springfield downed a showcase team from the Cascade Collegiate League 10-2. Marion Berries beat the Portland Gherkins 11-1. Portland Pickles demolished the Gresham Grey Wolves by a final of 20-5. Apple Sox host Nanaimo Night Owls at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium tonight at 6:35. Wenatchee is 4-2 against Nanaimo so far this season. Game 1 of the weekend series will be broadcast live on NCW Life channel with yours truly and Brandon Schmitten on the call starting at 6:30. Rest of the schedule finds Walla Walla at Marion Berries. Yakima Valley hosts Portland. Port Angeles visits Kelowna. Springfield is in Corvallis. Bellingham hosts Victoria. We'll keep an eye on that series. Cowlitz is at Bend. Ridgefield has a non-league game against the Northwest Star Nighthawks, and Edmonton is hosting Kamloops tonight at 7:05. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. We'll see you for the ball game, and then have a great weekend.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. News@ncwlife.com is the email address, or call 888-6295. Coming next week, we'll have a new interview with Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison on the investigation into the murder of the Decker girls and the hunt for their father accused of committing the crime. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks so much. We'll be back with you one more I'll be back with you one more time Monday night.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
The pitch by Busich. The Wenatchee Apple Sox are back on the NCW Life channel. Watch as they take on the Edmonton Riverhawks Tuesday, July 22nd. Coverage brought to you by our platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Abby's Pizza, Apple Valley Honda, Biosports Physical Therapy, Coldwell Banker Cascade Real Estate, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, and Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Your exclusive television home for Apple Sox baseball is the NCW Life channel. What once was old now is new to the NCW Life channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
That's amazing. I just missed the bite. Nope, I got him. There we go.
Nice.
Beautiful coconut. There we go.
Watch for new episodes of the Northwest Outdoorsman on the NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtime.